Good evening and welcome back to another episode of the Market Roundtable. Today, my plan is to maybe look at the international markets and understand what's the international markets are up to. Given that the markets are closed today, and we had already discussed my view on Nifty and Bank Nifty yesterday itself. So let's look at what's been going on with the international markets. Let's look at US futures, US 30. US 30 on the daily time frame looks good, but this could be an area where it could, which is around 42,900, where it could take some resistance, but the price, the closing of the last day was pretty strong. We'll have to see whether the price breaks out of this particular area or not, which is 875, or I would probably say 42,900. On the intraday time frames, price broke out of this resistance area and it retested that area and it bounced back. After bouncing back, it's going. The last two candles have been almost moving laterally. On the smaller time frames, yet again other intraday time frames, what I can see is that there has been rejections on the price on the upper level. This is actually some sort of a weakness, is what I can probably see on US futures on the intraday time frame. Then most likely, if this area is breaks down, then it could come and test this area, which is around 42,600. But if this area is important, because if this area is broken down, then it could most likely go and test this area, which is around 42,400. This is an area where it could go and retest. But it's important to see what's the next sort of movement on Monday. Yeah, on the higher time frames, on the daily time frames, it looks pretty strong. But we still have a resistance here, of course. And if this area is taken out, the 42,900 area is taken out, then the US markets could rally. Let's look at some few of the international stocks as well. Let's look at Tesla. How does it actually look? Tesla has been in news of late. What I can see on Tesla is that this was an area where price had tested this area multiple times and has been doing ups and downs on multiple occasions is what I can see. So this is of course an important area to watch for Tesla. And incidentally, what I can see, the last day's candle did a gap down. It was a good, strong bearish candle with huge volume. Well, the volume was like double of the average. But after this candle, there has been no follow up. On the contrary, this is kind of a harami, which it actually has printed like yesterday. So can this be called? There are two coincidences happening in this area. One, of course, is the previous resistance area, which could act as a support now potentially. And this strong bearish candle with high volume didn't had any follow up. So can this be the selling climax? We will have to see on the upcoming days. On the smaller time frames, if I see price has gapped up from that area and it's been holding there. It's important to see what happens on the next day, which is on Monday or Tuesday in the coming few days. If we see some bullish price action here, then there's a likelihood that price could break out of this area. Could break out. It might not even break out. But then, if this area is broken out, then the possible areas where it could take resistances is first this one, which is 312, and if this area is broken out, then the next area could be 324. So yeah, it's important to see what happens on a Monday or a Tuesday. There are two possibilities on Tesla. Given that given that it has significantly corrected now, and price would want to kind of cool down because this could have definitely been oversold, and price now is going sideways to maybe cool down, or it could be a small bottoming sort of a sign, which I can probably foresee on Tesla. It looks good, but it's important to see that what happens on the coming days. If we have a bullish price action here, then most likely Tesla could bounce from these areas, from this level. Let's look at Alphabet. Well, Google has been looking pretty well, pretty strong. This was an area where it had taken resistance earlier. Now this area is of course acting as a support area. You could see that the price has bounced from this area multiple times, and the possible area I would want to see before I kind of want to go bullish, I mean strongly bullish here, is this of course, which is around 174 on the weekly time frames. If I see again, the price is testing that area on the last week's closing candle has been very strong. This is a strong bullish closure for sure. On the smaller time frames, yeah, this is again testing on that level. It's important to see that whether price breaks out of this area or not. If price breaks out of this area and sustains this breakout for a longer, for like, and for sustains and moves up a bit, then I would assume that Google could move to this area first, which is around 181, then possibly this area, the gap area where it has been there. And this is also one congestion area where it could go and test. So there are multiple resistances for sure. Yeah, this looks good overall, but the next course of action would decide what's going to happen, because this is not the area where I would want to go long. If I have to go long, I might probably look at these areas to go long if I get a dip. But if it breaks out, then that could be a different story altogether. Let's look at Apple. Well, compared to Google, Apple has been looking pretty weak, unlike Google, very unlike Google. Uh, so this is something which is underperforming. Apple has been definitely underperforming. This is an area, and price has started moving laterally here. This is a box area, was what I can see. Now it's important to see whether this box is breaking out or not. Just get rid of this. Auto. On the smaller time frames, yeah, this is again, I would, if I want to, yeah, this should be perfect. Somewhere around this, yeah, this looks good. This looks good, yeah. Whether, yeah, it's important to see whether price sustains or whether it goes down. It still is an underperforming compared to Google, but what if this is something which is where they just people are just trying to kind of get lower prices. Yeah, but effectively, I would want to see a breakout of this area to bet on the bullish side of it. But if I have to bet on between Google or Apple, I would want to bet on Google, because that's on the outperforming side of it. This could be an area again where it could take resistances. So if it breaks out of 205, then it could go to 207. Out of 207, it could go to 209, and after 209, it's important. This is a very important level at 211, and absorb what's happening there. If this area is broken out, then Apple might start going up on the daily time frames as well. And these are the possible resistances here and on the daily time frame. You have multiple resistances on the top on the daily time frame. Yeah, it's still underperforming. I would probably skip this. Let us look at Nvidia. Nvidia is also at the resistance area, but it's still better than Apple. Nvidia is definitely outperforming. It's as good as your the charts of Google. But it's important to see that again there's a congestion area here where price is trying to go sideways and laterally. if the price breaks out of this area, then the possible movement can be of this box area. Could be this. If it breaks out of this area, then likely then we might go and go till 147 if it breaks out of this area. Looks good. Let's look at gold. Okay, so gold is at the resistance area, near the resistance area. But this time, what happened is price has broken down of this sideway range. This is the last area where price could take a support because this is an area where price has tested multiple times. So we'll have to see what happens at this area. But if this area is taken out, then the most likely next levels is right here, which is around 31,000 or 6 or maybe around 60, 3160. This could be the level. What is happening on the lower time frames? The lower time frames, yeah, it is definitely has broken down significantly after doing a lower high. This is an area where this could take this was the previous pivot area where it started bouncing. So it actually took right at resistance right near that area. Gold is bearish, but then any bounces could be a short. Let's look at silver. Unlikely gold, silver has been doing pretty well, strong, rallying. But in the last few days, what I noticed is that although price has been pushing hard up on the upside, but there are sellers on the on the higher sides, on the higher areas, who have been pushing the price on the lower side. But this is still strong. On the early time frame, the price has this was the previous area where it had uh, taken support multiple times. Now it broke down of the area and it is still consolidating or going sideways. So it's important again to see whether this area is broken down or not. If this area is broken down, then we might see some mild correction or maybe a mild dip here. There could be a minor dip. Incidentally, what I can also see here is that this is an area where price had broken down, but now it is broken down. So this could be categorized in that uh, fake breakout setup. We can also see that there are divergences being building up. So silver on the intraday time frame looks a little dicey. Let's look at India VIX. VIX on the early time frames has significantly fallen down. This was the support area which is not actually broken down. Now looks like VIX might move laterally for the time being, and post that if it breaks out, then we might kind of start either consolidating in Nifty or it could even correct a bit because given that Nifty is also rallied up a bit and it has heated up a bit as well. It is kind of an overbought sort of a situation. So it's important to see. If you want to kind of understand and see my views on Nifty and Bank Nifty, I had done a video yesterday on it. Please go and watch it. Whatever I do here is something which I trade as well. So I mean, but then yeah, at the same time, this is not a suggestion or a advice. Please don't take it that way. This is something which is just for an education purpose. You can mark your levels and understand and observe over a period of time that what's happening, and basis that you can even form your own strategy and way of trading. But of course, at the end of the day, the main and most important factor to consider is the risk reward. Please do consult your financial advisor to understand about risk reward or risk management more precisely, more deeply. Because I personally feel over a period of time in my journey of trading that uh, trading is not something a factor of you know um, hit ratios. It's not about not how many times you win, but it's even if you win for the lesser times, but if you are focusing on your risk management, in terms of taking your stop losses according to your capital, which is allotted to you. I mean, please don't tell me that you're gonna, yeah, put 20 or 30% of your capital on stake. That's something which is like pretty bad decision to take. If you take that, then your capital might get wiped out pretty soon. Do not do that. Figure out a number where you are comfortable, and basis that decide what you would like to do, where exactly you are comfortable, and basis that you can decide on the trades and the position sizings as well. So yeah, but then yeah, at the same time, I would suggest whoever has been watching my video, if you want me to look at any of your charts and analyze it, to tell you the levels possibly, please put it down in the comment section. I would love to um, analyze and watch them and probably give you the levels. That's about it for today. Please subscribe and like my channel if you have found any value out of it. Thank you so much for your time.